Welcome to Mike Brown Barbecue. Today we're going to be doing our 500 subscriber special on this 250-gallon offset smoker. We're going to be smoking Wagyu brisket, beef ribs, and Texas style pork spare ribs. Alright folks, today we're going to be doing our 500 subscriber celebration cook. We're going to do 3 meats. We're going to do this Wagyu beef brisket, which is going to be smoked today. I ain't going to show you the whole trim process. Y'all know how I trim my briskets. If you don't, you can go to my how to smoke brisket from start to finish video up here in the corner. Alright folks, so I've trimmed all I can stand, trim off of this. Let's get it seasoned up. It does have good marbling. It will be something that cooks down nice and be good to eat, but can't believe I just trimmed that much fat off a brisket I paid $127 for. It's ridiculous. Should have just bought the prime. So we'll start out hitting it with the black pepper, 16 mesh. And then we're going to hit it with some kosher salt. And then we're going to hit it with a Bondler seasonal, decent coat of that. Just like that, we got that Wagyu brisket seasoned up. Now let's move on to the beef dino ribs for our 500 subscriber celebration cook. Alright, what we got here is some beef dino ribs from HEB Choice. It's the best looking rack that they had. Didn't have a real good selection to go off of, so this is what I went with. So I typically don't do too much trimming on these, but this has got a pretty good sized band of fat right here, so I'm going to take it off. Too much trimming you can do on a beef dino rib. So we'll get her seasoned up. We'll hit her with the black pepper. Hit it with some kosher salt. Let's hit it with our Bondler seasonal. Alright, we'll give that a little bit to add here. We got a coal bed burning down. I'm not going to go into a bunch of fire management on this cook. I just did a fire management video. But there'll be the tips and tricks in there. Like usual, coal bed's got about 30 more minutes before it burns down, so we'll let this sit here and let these meats soak up the seasoning. I'll bring you guys back here in a little bit. We put the meat on. Stay. Alright folks, now it's time to throw our meat on the pit. And there's our first Wagyu brisket. What I want to do with these Wagyu briskets, stick them furthest away from the fire as I can. So I'll stick that one right there. And then this second one, I'm going to put right here by the door. That keeps them furthest away from the heat. This one being right there, that one being over there. These beef dino ribs are going to go right here in the middle, a little bit further up. They can take the heat. So alright folks, let's go throw our wood on and get started. Got our coal bed burnt down, we'll go throw our dense pieces of wood on. Stay tuned. Alright folks, so y'all know how my coal beds, how I do them. It's already burnt down, the coals are smashed. Let's go on and throw these dense pieces of red oak on. Dense piece of red oak, probably about 25-28% moisture, somewhere in there. We'll put it on with this big side facing on the inside of the coal bed. Right there. And we got us another piece right here. It's going to go right there. And our 2 pieces that go on the top. Put one right there. And one right there. Spaced apart equally. Something else I'm going to do different for this this cook, because I've got tons of tallow, especially with as much as fat as I just trimmed off these briskets, so I'm going to have more tallow. So I'm going to pour some tallow over these logs. kind of give us a little bit of extra flavor. We'll give that a minute to catch. And tallow is actually a good fire starter too, if you got a lot of it. But that's catching on. I'm gonna go ahead and close my firebox door down to 1 inch. And the next time you guys see these beef ribs and these Wagyu briskets will be 3 to 4 hours. I just wanted to give you guys a little pro tip what I do with this smoker right here. I take vegetable oil, tallow, whatever it is, put it in a spray bottle, and I spray it all over the outside of it. This keeps the rust down and gives it that nice shine. I don't do boiled linseed oil, none of that cool stuff. I just do this. What I'm spraying it down with right now is tallow, melted tallow. The reason I'm doing this is because I had a real heavy rain come through. Kind of washed everything off. Make sure you get them hinges, keep your hinges nice and lubed up. I don't recommend doing your firebox right now because it'll produce a lot of smoke, and sometimes that smoke will get sucked up into the firebox door. It's best to do that at the end of the cook, but you'll see how black my firebox is. It's because I spray that down on every cook when it's nice and hot. You can see a little bit of smoke that's coming off of that. But don't be shy with it. Put you a generous coat on there. Over the course of the cook, it'll stick to it. Don't forget the back side of your smoker, folks. You ain't got to worry about really doing the bottom of the smoker. All the oil's gonna run down there anyway. Just do about 3/4 of it down. And there you have it, folks. You ain't got to use boiled linseed oil, which just burns off over time anyway. You can use the cheapest vegetable oil Walmart sells. It's not gonna hurt the smoker. If anything, it's gonna help it. Give it a nice looking little finish for a little while, and it keeps the rust from rusting up your smoker. Just a little tip in the 500 subscriber video. We'll be looking at these briskets here in about an hour. Alright folks, we've hit the 4-hour mark on our briskets, beef dino ribs. Let's check them out, see how they're looking. We got bark set on the briskets. Bark is set on the beef rib. See how that brisket's looking. It's looking nice. It's hot. And you can see this one right here. Our beef ribs are looking nice. Starting to get some good pullback on the bones. But one thing I can see, I know y'all see this right here. That's a bacon. I cured a piece of bacon for a friend of mine that wanted some of that bacon brisket that I did in that last video. I'll put the link up there. So everything's looking good, but what I do need to do is go ahead and fold tip these points. They've seen enough heat. Put that down right there. Scrunch it around it loosely. Bark will continue to set. It'll keep the brunt of the heat off the end, keep it from burning your point. That right there will protect the points, keep it from getting crispy. So these briskets are nowhere near done yet. I may put a probe in them and show you later on. Right now, I'm not going to waste my time with it. I can tell just by feeling them that they've got a while. They're still tight. We'll go ahead and close this lid down. So I'll bring you guys back and we'll check them again in 2 hours. Stay tuned. All right, folks. So now we're going to get our spare ribs trimmed up. I'm doing these. I'm getting them trimmed up a day ahead of time because I want to throw my rib tips on the smoker and put them in my pinto beans. That's going to be on the tray. This is a 2-pack, 174 a pound. Good buy. You can get them at Walmart. They're actually pretty decent ribs. So let's get them opened up. Not a bad looking little rack of ribs there. So let's flip it on over. I'm not going to go in extreme detail how I trim these. I'll put a link to my how to smoke spare rib video. It's a good looking rib right there. The only thing I'm going to do with this today is I'm just going to pepper it. Flip it around over this side, and the only thing I'm going to do is put pepper on it. Pepper it a day ahead of time. I don't like putting my salty products on the rib this far day ahead of time. It's noon the day before I'm supposed to serve. You put something on there that's real salty, it'll make your ribs come out salty. So I'll wake up in the morning and put my seasonal salt on. And there you have it, folks. There's one spare rib. I'm gonna get these rib trimmings right here seasoned up and throw them on the pit right now so I can put them in my beans tomorrow. I'll bring you guys back when we check our briskets and beef ribs. Stay tuned. Alright, so I just realized my beef ribs cooked a whole lot faster than I wanted them to, so that's pretty much no wrap ribs. I did go ahead and put a little bit of tallow down over the top of them. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get these wrapped up and they'll rest till tomorrow. Like I said, these cooked a lot faster than what I really wanted to, but it is what it is. Get them wrapped up. Next time you guys see these, when we slice them tomorrow, they're gonna go for a good long rest in my toaster oven. Stay tuned. All right, folks, it's time to see what we got. We're about 6.5 hours in, and our bark is looking good on both briskets. That still got just a little bit of bounce back to it. It's not quite there. Probably another hour, 2 hours, we'll be ready to wrap these briskets. You'll notice I put all my rib tip trims on here and all my brisket trimming on there. I'm going to put that in my beans for my side. And this right here is just a pork belly I'm smoking for a friend. So yep, everything's looking good, looking the way it's supposed to. Everything's looking like. I'll bring you guys back when I get ready to wrap these, which should be in an hour or two. Stay tuned. Alright folks, I just pulled the brisket off and it is very pliable. That's what it's looking like right there. It's looking nice and good. So let's get this thing wrapped up. Alright, brisket number one's wrapped up and going back on the pit. Irregular shape, but it is what it is. I know I said I wasn't going to put tallow on this, but I'm going to put tallow on this because got a bunch of it now since these briskets had over 8 pounds of fat on them each. Alright, now that one's wrapped up. The next time you guys see these briskets will be when we slice them tomorrow. It's fixing to start raining, and you're not going to see nothing that you ain't already seen before on my brisket cooks. So These will finish out, probably take another hour, 2 hours. Judging by the feel of it, it ain't got much longer. So next time y'all see them is when we slice them tomorrow. Stay tuned. All right, folks, it's the next day. It's early in the morning. We got to get us another fire started. What I've done is I've shook the coals out of my last cook, and these coals are still hot. So we'll put them coals back in there and reuse them. So I've got to get me a coal bed burning down here pretty quick. I got a late start. By doing that, I put on smaller pieces of wood. And just like that, we got us a little coal bed burning down. Let's go season our ribs. Stay tuned. All right, folks, we got our ribs from yesterday. They set in the fridge overnight. It's time to hit them with seasoned salt. So we got that seasoned down with the seasoned salt. Nothing's going to change with the other racks. I'm going to do the same thing with that. I'll bring you guys back in a minute when I put this on the pit. Stay tuned. All right, folks, the time has come to put the ribs on. It's early in the morning. I apologize, the lighting's not great. I'm just going to stick these back here with the big bone facing toward the fire. Just like that, we got our ribs on. I anticipate these taking about 4 to 5 hours to cook, 6 o'clock in the morning. Got everything done by noon, so give me a little bit of wiggle room. Next time you guys see me is when we wrap these ribs. Stay tuned. Alright folks, it's time to get these ribs wrapped up. I've recently changed the way that I do my ribs. I found something I like a little better. Starts with putting down some diluted sauce with vinegar and some simple syrup. Look how good that rib is looking. Nice, good, set bark. We'll go upside down on it. We'll do the same thing on the back side. And we'll wrap her up real tight. And that one's done. Do the same thing with all of them. And there you have it, folks. That's how I've been doing my ribs. Diluted down barbecue sauce with a store-bought or homemade with a 25-75 sauce to vinegar mix. And then a simple syrup. I'm going to put these back on the pit, and I'll bring you guys back when I slice these. Stay tuned. Alright folks, I'm recording this track over because my microphone died. So we're getting Wagyu brisket sliced up here. The clip sped up to save some time. Here comes a money shot. A little bit of fat not rendered right there. I'm pointing that out. Looks real good. Slicing off a little burn in here. Getting us some fatty slices ready for the tray. Here comes another shot. A little bit of fat not rendered out right there, but this brisket had a ton of fat on it. I did the best I could with it.
So we're gonna put that on the tray. Some more burn in actions. And then some fat in the middle. I just scooped out of there. Getting our beef ribs sliced up. My brother-in-law is going to be doing the testing on this. The taste testing. Getting those put on the tray. We got our pork ribs right here. And yes, I cut them upside down. I was trying to get this stuff cut up as fast as I could and put on the tray so that my brother-in-law would have a fresh barbecue experience. Surprise! Brisket trim sausage will be on the tray. I dug through my freezer and found the last pack of my brisket trim sausage. So I smoked it down. It's going on the tray also. And there you have it, folks. There's the tray. My brother-in-law and I are going to taste all this stuff, and then we'll talk about it. Stay tuned.
So after we filmed all that, realized we didn't turn the damn volume on. So I got Slade back, my brother-in-law, to talk about his experience with the food that he just ate. So we'll start with the Wagyu brisket. What you think about it?
It's the best brisket I've ever had.
I agree. That's the best brisket I've smoked to date. That was good. The salt was there. The pepper was there. The red oak smoke complemented it just fine. It was I enjoyed the lean a lot more than I enjoyed the fatty.
Yeah.
The fatty was a bit much, but the lean was perfect to me.
The fatty was good. I've always been a lean man, but the flavor of the lean was just so good. It was there.
Oh, it melted in your mouth. It had the perfect moisture. It was awesome. That was your first time to ever eat a beef rib. So tell me what you think about that.
It was good, man. It was. I don't know what was better, that or the brisket. They were both really good, really good.
I'm gonna say on this one here, I actually preferred the beef rib, and I'm not the biggest beef rib fan in the world, but the beef rib did it for me. It was on point, and I was really worried that that wasn't gonna turn out that good because it rested for almost 20 hours. It finished up way sooner than what I wanted to finish up.
It was good, man. It's kind of like a. It had texture like a roast. I don't know. I don't know. But it was really good. It's better than any roast I ever
Yeah,
had.
that's the benefit of the overnight rest is you get more of a roasty type of flavor. All the collagen breaks down and gets gelatinous. If I would have cut it tomorrow, it would have been more of a brisket texture. But I enjoyed it. It was good. Uh, the brisket trim sausage. What you think about that?
That's good. Some of the best sausage I ever had. Honestly, I didn't even realize that it wasn't pork sausage. It was good. It
Yeah,
was good.
I've ate brisket sausage in all kind of places, and I never cared for it until I made my own, and I started making sausage and understanding meat to fat ratios and all that. Now I won't eat sausage nowhere else. I just make my own.
I've had brisket boudin before, and that was some pretty damn good boudin. But I've never had brisket sausage before.
Brisket
That
boudin.
was good.
Brisket boudin. It's on the to-do list. I got frozen brisket from other cooks left over. I will be doing that. I'm just waiting on it to get in the fall. It's so damn hot out here.
It is warm.
Last but not least, what do you think about the pork ribs?
Pork ribs are good. Pork ribs were really good. Really good. Love the sauce. Today though, it was the ribs and the brisket.
Yeah.
That was it. Those pork ribs were really good though.
Yeah, them pork ribs are good. Pork ribs is always a compliment to your beef ribs and your brisket. It's all good. I recently changed the way I do my pork ribs, as y'all seen earlier in the video. You know, with the simple syrup and the sauce cut with the vinegar. I think that's the way I'm gonna carry on. But I keep going and reinventing the wheel on my pork ribs. Pork ribs are so versatile. Spare ribs, you can do anything you want with a mini flavor profile. It just about works. But oh, and also the beans. What you think about the beans?
The beans were outstanding.
Yeah, them beans
I never
were.
knew that the ranch beans could be that good.
Yeah, them pinto beans. They were kind of a unsung star of the show. Like I said, I took all my brisket trimming because I didn't have much brisket trimming off of this to save it for sausage because I trimmed so much damn fat off in briskets. But the rib tips and the brisket trim I smoked on my smoker yesterday and put it in the refrigerator, sliced up, put it in beans and cooked it down today. And That's up there in my top 5 of beans I've ever made myself. They were pretty good. But all in all, your barbecue experience, you rate it 1 out of 10. What was it for you?
I give it a 10.
10? All right.
He knows what he's doing.
I'll try. He got to eat everything not in front of the camera, and now we got an even better opinion from him. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. This was to celebrate the 500 subscribers. I appreciate that. Our next goal was 1,000 subscribers. So thank y'all for watching.